morning, Gravity Falls. Welcome to another exciting episode of Gossiping Gossipers. Today I have a very special guest with us, JackyJackDraws.
Hi guys. Hello.
Alright, so we'll just jump right into it. How did you first get into Gravity Falls? What was your first viewing experience like?
Okay, so I joined the fandom way back in 2013 when the show was reaching its maximum peak.
Really?
Although I was like an anime obsessed kid that thought that all cartoons nowadays are garbage. So
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at it. I thought, yeah, I know it's fun. It's mindless summer adventures. I don't really care about it. And then I moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, I finished the show, but it wasn't like something that left a mark on me as it does now. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it's a pretty cool show. I'm happy for the brothers. I'm happy for them to be. I'm sad that the summer is over, but okay. Then some stuff happened with my family, so I said, "Oh, you know what? There was a show I really liked. It was I started binge watching shows, and one of them was Gravity Falls because I started looking back into cartoons. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when I started looking deeper into Adventure Time as well, I started thinking
Mm.
about stuff like, oh, these cartoons are good. Maybe I should start watch something else. And then at some point one day, not Gravity Falls, Steven Universe was in hiatus,
Mm.
so I
I
thought,
love Steven
why not?
Universe.
Yeah, me too. It's so fucking good. So Steven Universe at the time was like season 4 to 5,
Mm.
and it was like in full hiatus, so I thought, let's just binge watch Gravity Falls once again. And that time, it hit me stronger than it ever did. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the brothers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to get into details because I'm not really a huge into spoiling my personal life. But
No.
the
That's totally fine. Yeah.
but the thing about the brothers, okay, and fucked up family history just like sold me back into it. And
Mm-hmm.
when I reached the finale, I was crying, something that I
Oh no.
never did at that point. Like, think about the angstiest Steven Universe episode, the angstiest Adventure Time
Mm-hmm.
episodes. I never
Mm-hmm.
cried once into those
Mm-hmm.
episodes. But the finale hit me so personally that I cried. And
Mm.
so my brain just told me, yep, that's going to be your hyperfixation from now on, bucko.
Awesome. I get what you mean with like the crying, because like I'm an emotional person, but for some reason it takes a lot for me to actually shed tears.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
my eyes will get stingy and like my chest will get heavy, but like as
Maybe you
far as
have that stinky nose or something.
yeah, as far as like tears actually leaving my eyes when I'm watching something, it takes a lot. And
Yeah,
I
me too, to be
I
honest.
became yeah, and I don't I think I did. If I didn't, I was very close when I watched it as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that like it started like you almost had like the spider web effect. You rewatched one cartoon, it led you to like five or six others. Like I think
Yes.
that's what's kind of interesting about cartoons that were released in the 2010s and today is yeah, it's sad when your favorite show ends, but we have so many amazing shows out there that are not identical, but they have similar characteristics
Yeah,
that
it's
like
true.
if you like one show, there's a very good possibility that you'll
Yeah,
like four or five more.
yeah, just just talking about Gravity Falls, all the other members of the Gravity Falls crew made their own independent shows, and they
Mm-hmm.
all have that huge Gravity Falls vibe to it,
Hmm.
and it's amazing. Like the whole house, Amphibia, all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
like it just screams, yeah, we've been working with Alex Church and the Gravity Falls crew. And
Mhm.
I don't think it's like something to say, oh, they're obviously copies, so they're basically the same. No, because they are actually something completely different, and that's what's so good about them. And the fact that I
Mhm.
can relate to this stuff, like everything that relates to Gravity Falls and how strongly connected I am to the show, it just like made me absolutely adore these shows because how close to home they were.
I
Hmm.
keep thinking of that quote from Dr. Seuss, don't be sad that it ended, be happy that it
Happy because it
happened.
happened. Yes,
Yeah, like, and
I
if you're
think
really
about
gonna
it a lot when I think about Filthy Frank. To be honest.
Yeah, and the great thing is that, every time I finish Gravity Falls, I literally just go back to episode 1. No, it's not over. It's not over.
Not
I'm
over.
watching
It's not
it.
over. They're coming back another summer, even though they
Yep,
don't remember anything.
yep. Gravity Falls is real and it will never die.
They will never die. Yeah, exactly.
So, when did you sort of cross that threshold of starting to draw fan art for it?
Ooh, that is a tricky question
Mm.
because I have been drawing since I was basically 3 to 4 years old. But like,
Aww.
but like, so I would usually, I think the earliest shit. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear on your show.
Oh no, you can swear, please. Swear all you like. It would make Ruckle stand proud. So.
Aw, okay, I can swear for real. Son of a bitch!
No, God, no, fuck! Oh shit, my children are starving! Titty boobs, the end.
Yes. So, I think the earliest Gravity Falls stuff I've ever did, um, it was nothing but paper sketches, like
Mhm,
uh, stuff I would draw on my notebooks or on my school desk, because I
mhm.
used to be the creative one. Uh all the cleaning ladies at my school hated me, and they knew because I was the one leaving graffiti on the school desks.
Oh no.
Yes, I regret nothing.
Good. Good.
So, um, then at some point, I remembered that I had a drawing tablet somewhere, and that I bought for myself for my birthday because I wanted to draw anime. But then, you know, maybe I was heavily influenced by the work of Kikikit, you know, and
Mm,
the artworks of the fandoms themselves, but especially her, because there
God
was
bless.
something so beautiful about their artwork. The style was next to the show, but it's something very different that made it pop up from the other stuff.
Mhm.
Also, those colors and the shading, I was in love with it.
Mhm.
In
Oh,
fact, it's something that I try to bring into my artworks a lot. It's a huge, for example, I I have a quote that I bring into my heart that says that copying is the nicest form of flattery.
mhm. Identity theft is
And
not a joke, though, Jack. Millions of families
yes.
suffer every year. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, no, it's fine. So I like started um I started drawing just because I wanted to be like her, and at some point I just started drawing. I had this love for the show, I had this love for the artwork. I started studying other artists. For example, I started studying Hellman. I started studying all these other artists that I knew at the time that were very popular. And then I settled with Kiki because, it's a very good style, it's easy to make. So
Mhm.
I just got into it.
Mhm.
And now the thing just became normal, something that uh I just do for fun.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
I don't think I'll ever stop. Like, it's so funny, it's
So,
relaxing.
yeah, please don't.
It allowed me to to know beautiful people like you, Lem, Steph, and the others.
Oh,
So
aw. Well, of course, I will respect if you ever do decide to stop. I'm not gonna hold you at gunpoint, but like, I love your
why
art
are you?
style.
Why
It
the
is.
fuck you lying?
No, I love it. Like, it's such a. I don't want to repeat myself, but I'll tell you what I told Lemon is, what's so special about the Gravity Falls art style. It's that it is easy to incorporate your own twist to it while still paying homage to the original style. Like,
True.
oh,
It's
and
true. Yeah.
like Kiki's a good example. Like literally what you just said. Like it looks strikingly similar to the art style, but you can look at any piece of her art and not even see the name and be, oh yeah, that's Kiki's. And the
That's
same goes
Kiki. Yeah.
for you as
Same
well.
goes. Yeah, or the same thing can go for Turquoise Girl 35. I follow her on
Mhm.
Instagram, and sometimes I see her works of her, and you see that the style is incredibly close to to the original style of the show. But just looking at it makes you go, "Yeah, that's Turquoise." Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's just what sort of makes any Gravity Falls art very special.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes yours special as well. Like I've always loved the way you do
Aw,
coloring and that sort of thing, like your lighting and that sort of thing. Because the lighting
aw.
is really, really hard. But
Yeah,
I
don't
would
tell
consider you,
me.
yeah. Well, like I would kind of consider you like the expert. Like if I needed like some backgrounds or something, like you'd be my go-to
Mm-hmm.
guy because all your lighting
Aw,
and color is just so
aw.
beautiful and fleshed out.
Thank you. Oh, that's nice because, I can spend days trying to think of a good way of making artwork, making a background, lighting and shading. I argue with blending modes a lot. Like,
Mhm.
no fucking way. And, you know, you can say that I also, like, someone would say, why don't you try studying color theory? Well, I kinda do without knowing a lot about color theory, and I still struggle a lot with it because I don't really think that there is someone out there that knows color theory front to back and still doesn't struggle with it.
Mhm.
I
I agree.
mainly go just by vibes. Like, what kind of vibe do I want to give to a drawing? And I just go for it.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think it works really well because, like, your warm tones or your cold tones, they really bleed through your artwork, and like on a piece that's more dark and serious,
Mm-hmm.
like there's no question, like, oh shit hit the fan, like, and the same for like a more warm, fluffy. Like I can almost feel the sun tickling my skin, like that feeling when you're just in complete glow, or like
Mm-hmm.
it's just again, I think it's all credit goes to how wonderful of an artist you are and how amazing and
Aww.
how much care you put into it. Because not a lot of people are willing to spend several days on
Yeah, it's
one
true.
thing, like that takes some dedication.
Yeah. Because I like to do what I do, and I like to like draw. I have an idea in my mind, and since I'm a hyperfixated asshole, I just say no, I want it to be like this, and we're gonna pull
Mhm.
a night out if it's necessary, but I want it to be exactly like this. And when it does, it's satisfying, and it keeps you
Mhm.
going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, for example, if I have to like reference some of my works, the one that I
Mhm.
did for Stan and Ford's birthday here in 2021, the one where they're all,
Oh, it was so fluffy.
aw, thank you. So, to be honest, this was one of the works I'm most proud of, just because of the fact that it came exactly as I wanted it to be. I struggled a lot with the poses and the expressions, to be honest, because also
Mhm.
posing is very hard.
Mhm.
And they might also tell you, yeah, look at references, dickhead. But, even looking at references isn't exactly the piece of cake because you have the reference and you know how to sculpt it, but you also, indeed, need to sculpt it. and it's not the easiest task sometimes, even the more complicated stuff. And
Mhm.
when I started going shading, I was going with, oh yeah, that sounds about right. Just add a little bit more, and I just started scribbling. Uh, as I said, I'm just going off vibes. So at some point, I just said, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I like the drawing, so I'm gonna keep going.
Like, I love the drawings of seeing them getting into shit together, or like,
Hmm.
flirting and just being assholes together. Like, and
Yeah, because that's the major vibes they give me, or like their relationship. It's something that they insult each other. They might want to get dirty, meaning like dirty talk to each other.
Mhm.
But like at the end
Mhm.
of the day, they love each other. So you know.
Yeah, but yeah, and like you give off that perfect vibe again with your coloring and shading and your facial expressions. Like, of course they care about
Hmm.
each other, duh. But they're also going to be the first ones to tell the other one, "You're a fucking idiot." Like,
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
so what do you think of the show, The Owl House, like as a whole?
Oh, it's a beautiful show. Like it's something that I would immediately recommend if someone just came to me and said, "Hey, I just finished Gravity Falls. Do you want to recommend me something else?" I would immediately
Mhm.
tell you, "Go watch this." Like
Mhm.
even if you don't know the series, it's something that I binge watched the fuck out of it when it first came out.
Mhm.
Because I'm a complicated person when it comes to TV series, since my attention span is the one of a goldfish. I either get so into it that I overly obsessed, in this case with the whole house, or
Mhm.
either I just watch it or and I became completely numb, or overall I drop it. But
Mhm.
with the whole house, it was another different. I hyperfixated almost immediately because of the
Mhm.
huge Gravity Falls vibe it gave me, and
Mhm.
it comes back to the point that we said before. Also, I fell in love immediately with Ida and how she looks and acts very similar to Stan. Like there is a
Mhm.
video of yours on your
Mhm.
YouTube channel about Ida being Stan's ex-wife, and I
Mhm.
think that sums up perfectly. I think it's 13 minutes. Those 13 minutes sums it up perfectly. Like,
And that's only the first half of season 1. I've been meaning to make a second one of just
yeah,
moments that she reminds me so much of Stan. Like, I need to get on that, but thank you.
yeah.
Right?
Also, another thing that really loved about it is also the characters and how they grow.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the second favorite character of mine after Ida is Amity. I
Mm.
love Amity so much
Mhm.
because how much he grew. Like I
Mhm.
can't spoil anything from season 2,
Mhm.
but if we have to do the same thing of uh, the old house is very similar to Gravity Falls, I would say that she is Pacifica Northwest, but what probably the Gravity Falls crew wanted to do with Pacifica, and they
Mhm.
fucking nailed it. I
Mhm.
love Amity because she grew
Mhm.
from this high rank GPA, all straight A's, asshole to be an absolutely person that is very emotional. It's very intimate. You know that she loves Luz. Like I stand Lumity, even though I do not ship
Mhm.
it. Even though I'm
Mhm.
not a huge shipper of it, and I don't consider it an ODP, I respect the fuck out of it. And if you ship Lumity, you have my respect, dude. I love them.
Mhm. I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I'm not like, of course, every time there's a blush or anything like that, I'm excited. I'm happy.
Oh, the
That
the scene at the prom. Like
oh,
you're
it
going
was so
soft on me,
cute.
Blythe, in your
I
dream.
I
Like,
know it. Like, oh,
damn.
it was so cute. I think moments that I like maybe slightly more is like because it felt
Hmm.
more natural was like when afterwards, when Luce would come up to her and Amity would get all blushy, like, "Oh, hey, Luce, you're here." Well, of course you knew this
Yes,
is school,
the
like, cause
episode
it was
later. Yeah.
yeah, like, cause like, it was such a normal thing.
Way
Like, of
to
course, we've
respond to your crush. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so like I definitely ship it, although it's not like my OTP. I'm not like fucking insane
Yeah.
about it. But if they
Yeah. Me
aren't a
too.
couple by the end of the show, I will be upset. I'll just
Me too. To be honest. I also
Mhm.
wish to a crossover with the Clawthorne sister and the Stans, but
I mean,
a man can dream.
we did get the amphibia crossover, so like
Yeah, we're still waiting for the Old House one.
yeah, I mean, honestly, even if we could just get something like a Ford wanted poster in the background, or
Or
like
Ida finding the wedding ring and be like, yeah, garbage.
yeah, exactly. Like just something like that. And we've kind of got in bits and pieces before, and like maybe I'm just overlooking at it,
Yeah. No,
but
no,
like
in the graphic novel there was actually a reference in I think the first story. There was a
yeah.
reference to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like one reference that I saw that again, maybe I'm just pulling parallels out of nowhere, but like in the third episode where Ida and King have that bet, I mean, Alex
Yes.
Hurst told a character to wear a shame hat and go live in a shack.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
I
mean, I'm
mean,
just putting that out there. And then, like, Hootie's moving castle, when Gus is going through Ida's thing, he pulls out an 8 ball.
okay, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
But the thing is
mean,
about Hoodie, the thing about Hoodie, I always hate him. Like in the first season. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I didn't like him very much. I know,
nobody
tragedy.
liked him. That I was one of the few people I felt that liked him since the get go. Like episode 1, I liked him. I was like, I like this character. Like, I'm
Okay,
a little
okay.
salty that everyone else likes him. Like, I liked him first.
Yeah, okay. I am one of the crew that says, "Oh, now he's good. He was bad, but now he's good." And also, he is having a relationship that I cannot talk about. Not relationship in a romantic one, like friendship with someone,
Mhm.
but I cannot talk about it because it's spoilers. And I
Mhm. Yeah.
love the relationship with them on a personal level. It's like you would never thought about it in season one. If someone came to me
No.
and said, "Hey, Hootie, the character you hate the most, well, he's gonna have a special relationship with this character," and I would go, "Excuse you, what? What the fuck are
And
you telling me?"
I love the irony that two of the most hated characters in the fandom have a friendship.
Yeah, true. It's true.
Like we're hated by the fans, but we can be hated together.
We can be hated together and make every single fan that hated us love us now.
Yeah, I mean, while I was definitely a Hootie supporter from the get go, I'm still
Yes.
a little like, and it was
Skeptical
I
or
still
something.
I still don't. There are still some characters in the Owl House
Mhm.
that I don't like, not
Mhm.
solely because of things that they did or didn't do in the past, but they've also given me no characteristics to root for.
Okay, no,
And
like no redemption arc.
not even that. Like, I'm okay with someone being an asshole if, like, for me personally, there's some sort of characteristic qualities that I enjoy. Like, if I
Mhm.
enjoy seeing them on screen, if I enjoy hearing them talk, you know what I mean? Like, does that make any
Yeah.
sense at all? And
No, no,
just
it makes
with,
sense to me.
yeah, and just with some characters in the Owl House, I have not gotten to that point yet. I'm still like,
Mhm.
I still don't like you.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay if you don't like them. I don't really care as long as we
Mhm.
both like respect our decisions. I will always do it, but
Mhm. Well, there's a difference between like not being a huge fan of a character and just being a complete hater and being like, no one's allowed to
yeah.
like this character. Like, if you like,
Mabel haters.
like, oh man, like, yeah, we can talk about that because we're not spoiling anything. Like,
Yeah.
that's a really good example. Like, if you just say, I'm just not a fan of Mabel. I don't know why. I'm not a huge fan. Alright, fair enough, you know, like,
Yeah, it's fair
you don't
enough. Yeah, like
yeah, you don't have to like every single character, but when it gets to a point where you're like, "I
like
hate this
to be honest,
character."
I'm not the hugest Dipper fan. I like him and he's a precious boy, but I'm not like simping over him or like thinking he's the best character in the show.
No, yeah, like, I definitely think he's a good character, but, like, yeah, I agree with you on that. But, like, but even if I didn't like him, like, I would never expect everyone else in the universe to not like him or to hate him.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
true.
yeah, and be like, "If you don't hate this character, then you're an asshole." Like, what? No, like, sit
Yeah,
down.
true.
Dirty onto my lunch. Jesus.
And then I remember there was this like fic I read about it, and I was like, how about I actually make something about it? I really loved it. It's one of my favorite AUs. So why not just make it? Why not just make it? And I gotta be honest, I'm not the hugest fan of that comic. Like, I don't really like it myself. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, mainly because it was very painful when I made it. It was a comic that I made in November, and then I dug back in around March or April. I don't remember when I made. Oh no, I made it in February for February. Uh,
Hmm.
I dug it back. I looked at the style and I was like, What the hell is this? What are
Oh.
those? What are those?" And you know, I just said, fuck it. Okay, I don't want to remake everything from the beginning. Just finish it however it is. If it looks wonky, if it looks stupid, I don't care. But I was really surprised when it showed that people actually really liked it, and I was
Mhm.
very surprised about it. It's like those sleeping AUs that people love to death, but nobody makes stuff about. That when it
Mhm.
just pops off, everyone is like, finally someone made it and it's so good. And
Hmm.
to be honest, I was like, why do you like it, guys? It's a shitty ass comic. I don't like it.
Hmm.
Because, artists have a different way of like talking about their art. Even if you like
Hmm.
say if you look at a drawing and you might even from artist to artist, which knows we know each other's struggles. Like I could see a painting of whatever you like that it's like so hyper realistic and beautiful, and I would go to a person and say, "Hey, I love this painting. It's beautiful." And they would look at me and say, "Nah, not really. I don't really like it."
Oh no, Mickey Mouse dropped the ball and isn't providing you with the Gravity Falls merchandise and art you deserve. You worked hard for your extra money and have no way to use it for the show and characters you love. Well, one man is on the job and is here to supply all your thirsty needs. That's right, JackyJackDraws has opened commissions. He's willing to do anything. OCs, AUs, even NSFWs. All your ABCs and 123s will be taken care of by his brilliant hands. For just $10, you can get one character in line art, but for only $20, he'll color it. My uncle always told me to go big or go home, which is why I highly recommend buying the complete flat colors for only $30. Or you know what? I know you don't have to save up for a candlelit dinner, so treat yourself to a gorgeous piece of art, fully colored, fully shaded, with a stunning background for only $50. Contact Jackie Jack today and get your favorite character or favorite OC drawn by a very talented artist who needs to move the fuck out of his parents' house. Don't forget to do some math, my American friends. They don't use bucks over there. They use uh, uh I don't know, beavers, goats, some other animal. Ask Jackie Jack. Jack will not do that. I think I'm getting a little hateful. It's not that hard. The kids all need to be brought to you. Please don't down. Contact JackyJackDraws today. You're breaking my boobs. Get the fuck out of here and get yourself something nice. You earned it.
The whole of us is an strange AU in the sense that, like, I mean, the fic has like hundreds of likes and reads, and for
Yes.
some reason, there's just not a lot of fan art. There's not a lot of things for it in the fandom, and I don't think anybody
Yeah,
quite knows
true.
why, because everybody knows what it is and everybody knows how awesome it is, but it's like you said, like, for some reason there's just not a lot of art for it, and so when we do find it, like, we're just so hyped and so excited that, like, we don't
Yeah,
really care about the things that the original artist would care about. Like, we don't care about the lining or the colors. We're just happy to get something. You know?
well,
Now,
that
with
makes me
that
a bit
being,
relieved.
yeah, well, I was about to say, with that being said, I think the comic is absolutely gorgeous and is beautiful and is
Aw.
very well done, and I think you did an amazing job.
Aw, you're too sweet.
Oh, I mean, I try to be nice.
No,
Couple
no,
of us.
yeah, I take the compliment. Like, I absolutely take the compliment, but me, I melt when someone makes me a compliment. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm the exact same way. Like, it doesn't matter how small or anything like that. Like,
yeah, you can
when
you can even say, "Hey, I like your shirt," and I would go, "Thank you. I bought it with my money that I hardly worked on, and I love it so much, and I love you."
yes.
Okay,
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
yeah, okay. I need to get this. I need to like talk about this funny story I talked with the rest of the group. A couple
Yeah.
days ago when I got my first dose of vaccine.
Oh.
Uh, so okay, a little bit about me. I am a huge. Um I love middle-aged men, and
Yeah. Well, I
what a
mean, you're in the
surprise!
you're in the Gravity Falls fandom, buddy. I mean.
I'm in the STEM simping section of the Gravity Falls fandom, so of course
Mhm.
middle-aged men are my thing, you know.
Mhm.
So um I was in line to get myself the V shot until at some point uh I went to a checkup and there was a middle-aged man, and obviously he was looking at the paper you signed before doing the vaccine. And at some point he said to me, "Okay, honey, do you," with the sweetest, like it was so sweet and gentle. And he said to me, "Okay, honey, do you have any heart-related injuries? You know, that kind of stuff. Do you have a STD? Do you have cancer? You have been diagnosed with cancer? You know, that kind of stuff." And the only
Mhm.
thing I thought of is, "Oh my god, he called me honey. I'm gonna marry you and we're gonna live together even though we have 40 years of distance and you're probably married with a woman and have children and nephews. I still love you anyway." I was like in love with that man. Not only because he was
Mhm.
like a bit chubby and rounded, so it fits the canon. So,
Are there any other AUs that you
ooh,
just really, really like?
what I don't like. Like, I love time stuck. Another thing that I
Mm.
was going to mention before is time stuck. Like,
Mm.
I don't think there is enough art about time stuck ever. Like I made some time stuck stuff in the past before,
You did, yes, you did.
and that's why, because I love it so much. It's like one of my favorite IUs of all time. I know it's an excuse for the fandom to have some Mabel and Stan bonding because that's a lot of things that we missed on on the show. We had our moments, but there wasn't like an entire Mabel and Stan episode as it was like with Dipper and Ford. Same thing that we
Mm.
haven't had is Dipper and Stan, but as I said before, I'm not a huge fan of Dipper, so it's not a huge
Right,
loss for me. But like,
right.
but like Stan and Mabel. they're like the lesser part, the lesser wheel of the cart, right? So having them
Mhm.
together, bonding, and having Stanley in a time of weakness, man, it just kept
Mhm.
me going. Like I loved it,
Mhm.
and also I don't really know, like how far we are into the time stack fic, because I've read some stuff, but it wasn't like from the original creator. It was fan stuff,
The time
as well
struck
as
AU, yeah, like it's such an interesting AU because at this point it's been around for so long that like almost like there's so many different fics that have to do with some sort of time stuck. Like one time stuck that
yeah.
I read that was really good, and it was only 4 chapters long. It wasn't finished, and then um, but like Dipper and Mabel both got stuck at the Mystery Shack during the Waddles episode, like
Okay.
right as it was snowing and everything like that, and Ford opened the door and all that,
Mhm.
and it went on that little thing. I mean, it wasn't the time struck, but it was a time stuck AU. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
other
I do.
genres too, where like Ford is with Mabel and Dipper's with Stan, and so like
Stan, or like Mabel is with Stan and Dipper is with Ford.
yeah, I've seen so many different recreations that it's kind of hard to track back to the
Yeah,
original. But
true.
again, I think that's what sort of makes that particular AU interesting is because you
Interesting.
can just tell anyone, okay, these characters in this place, go,
Yeah, this
like,
is
and they
my
take it from
version
there.
of the story, and you just go, yeah.
Yeah.
Another AU that I really loved was introduced to me by Honey, which is the Fountain of Youth one. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a small comic where Stan and Ford drink from a Guatemala lake in the middle of nowhere, and they wake up the next day and they are younger, but they still have the white stripes on their hair. They're still like the same, but they look
Mm.
like in their mullet years. I think that is so interesting. I want more. Or like another commission that I got last year in June was someone asking me to draw older Ford and younger Stan. Even that is something that what if one of the kids becomes a kid one of the Stans becomes a kid again? And I'm like,
Right.
yeah, okay, that's really cool. It would have been an
Yeah.
episode. That's it. Like
Yeah.
I also love the fact that some of the comics and stories are just Ford being an overly protective and cuddly parent, while Stanley is
Mhm.
like the more sassy one that is like, "Who's the oldest now, Jackass?"
Yeah.
But like, but I could see it just for an episode. I wouldn't see an entire AU. Like it can be Monster Falls or Reverse Falls of Relativity Falls. Like
Yeah.
it's not like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's a good premise, it's a good idea, but it's not one that, at least in my opinion, that I think holds up well on its own.
Yeah, yeah, we're in the same boat, to be honest. To be honest, I
Hmm.
feel the exact same way as you because they're pretty good stories. I would love to draw that stuff again. Yes, I know this entire interview has been nothing, but I would draw vibes. How to resume the entire interview in 3 words. I would vibes and I don't know.
That's cool. That's your thing.
Oh
That's
yeah.
your thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a thing. How about I will do and vibes. That's like how can you resume me in 3 words?
Yeah, pretty much. Are there any other Gravity Falls AUs that just really,
Yeah. The science dad one that we were talking about before was also a really good one that I would love to make again
mm,
because
yeah.
that I think is one that I would consider something that would develop into an actual story. Like
Mhm.
both Stan. I personally, one of that canon of mine is that Stan and Ford still hate each other a lot, but
Mhm.
they have to get their shit together quickly because they have 2 kids they need to take care of. And
Mhm.
to be honest, I think that's a huge, like, it's something that would compose 90% of the angst fan fictions. But like, it's something that
Mhm.
I would say, oh, it's an angsty one. Oh, they're probably gonna argue. That's my shit. And
Mhm.
honestly, it's a thing that I really love, and I would really love to see more. Because it's funny how most of the fan fictions I adore were requested to me to draw, and at that point, I didn't know jack shit about them.
Oh no.
That's how I work, to be honest.
Mhm. I love AUs that sort of just ask, because like I feel what's so interesting about the Gravity Falls story as a whole is that it
Hmm.
kind of makes me think that if just one small thing had changed, maybe shit wouldn't have hit the fan as
Yeah,
bad as it did.
it's
Like
true.
like
It's true.
a small example that I'll give is the whole incident with the shapeshifter and all that. Like,
Hmm.
Ford finds this egg, immediately him and Fiddleford, you know, the plan is to lock it in a freezer before he wants to do some experiments with it. He treats it more like a wild animal, like he covers his face when he's around it and all that. And it's like,
Hmm.
maybe, just maybe, if Ford and Fiddleford hadn't been so cold and distant, had actually treated Shifty like a
A
person,
person.
then maybe, just maybe, a bunch
Or
of
like the
shit that
thing
went
about the
down.
perpetual motion machine. Like the shit about the
Yes.
perpetual motion machine. What about Stanley never broke it? Or what if, like, yeah, what if he never broke it? Or that comic about Morning Mark, what if Ford came in and instead of acting like an asshole, he said, okay, it's fine, we can fix this, but I need your help. Like,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, or
what?
like,
That's a huge plot point that evolves into a lot of what ifs.
right, like, I think, yeah, and I think that could be said pretty much anything in the canon Gravity Falls story, and I think that's why Gravity Falls fandom has created so many interesting AUs that hold up on its own, because you could take one small simple question and expand it into its own story and universe that's intriguing to follow.
True. Yeah. That's pretty much the point, and that's why I love so much
Hmm.
this fandom a lot, because the amount of
Mhm.
creativity it has.
Mhm. It's always so much fun whenever, like, yeah, I agree. Like, there's maybe it's just because we haven't gotten new stuff in a while, but this fandom is
Yeah, so
constantly
we pull
churning
up the
out new.
Thanos.
Yeah, we have basically said, you know what, if you're not gonna give us new shit, we'll give ourselves new.
We'll do it
So
myself.
yeah, we're constantly getting new shit from other people, and it is so exciting. Well, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and all the above, that was Jackie Jack. Again, dude, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. I really
Well,
do
thank you
appreciate
for
it.
hosting this podcast. I am really grateful to have talked to you for a couple of hours tonight. It was really
Oh
pleasant
yeah.
coming, and it was really nice to talk to you.
Oh, really nice to talk to you too, dude. Man. Oh. But seriously, guys, if you liked all the artwork that I showed you on this podcast, please give this dude your money. He is incredibly awesome. Commission him, love him, follow him. I don't care. Just do something for this man. He deserves it.
Aw,
So,
thank you.
you're welcome. Alright, so I guess with that, good night, everybody, and please stay weird.